Ladies and gentlemen, I welcome you to a new Platinum adventure. This time around, Spider-Man.
Please, someone?
No, not that one. This one. My name is Tefno, and that's all you need to know. I once again ask you, are you ready?
I'm going to die.
You are? Good. Let's get into it. We immediately start with some action. We assault Fisk Tower, the notorious Wilson Fisk, also known as Kingpin. After some fighting, learning the moves, and maybe some crimes, we defeat Kingpin. And with him in jail, we get our first trophy. We then do a mission that we fix some radio towers, and later on we do all of them, which results in a trophy. But we'll get to that. After the mission, we unlock the open world. And with that, I want to give a quick note about the trophies. There's 51 trophies. And a lot of collectibles. And with the amount of playtime, things go really fast. I will be collecting a lot off camera, of course, like all the backpacks, doing all the labs, etc. And I will only show what's necessary. For example, the second trophy we get is for picking up 5 backpacks, which we done rather quickly after having access to them. Next up we visit the lab for the story. We also do some mini games here for a trophy later on. But we'll get to that as well. We then attack one of the bases of Kingpin, where we get a trophy for 10 perfect dodges. Clearing all the bases also results in a trophy later on. We then get introduced to a gameplay element I'm not really a fan of.
Oh no!
Stealth missions with MJ just feel pretty boring. I mean, 90% of the game you play as Spider-Man swinging around the city, and then this just takes the tempo out of it. Luckily it's only a few times throughout the story, so it's not too bad to handle. After this sequence, we meet the one and only Stan Lee.
You always were my favorites.
Rest in peace, you legend. We then ask Martin Lee about the mask we found earlier during the section with MJ. He reacts pretty sus, and well, if you don't know the story yet, sit tight. We then explore a bit while going to the lab.
Hello there.
Here we meet with Dr. Octavius to resume some experiments. He seems like a nice guy. I'm sure nothing will happen. Oh, we complete our first combat benchmark for a trophy. We then swing by our first lab of the game before we head into a boss fight. The boss fight is against Shocker. It's a fun fight, but nothing too tough. After throwing a few objects at him, we defeat him without breaking a sweat. And as a reward for defeating him, we get a trophy. We also get a trophy right after for traversing the city rooftops. Yeah, I still don't know what that exactly means. We then do some story bits in which a cop becomes our friend. Mr. Lee leaves for some personal business, and that personal business results in the death of our newly met buddy. And not only that, Martin Lee shows his true form as the next villain in line to get his ass kicked. Oh, and let's not forget the trophy we got. We then do a lot of exploring, where we get a lot of trophies. One for crafting our first upgrade, one for finding the first black cat statue, one for just literally swinging around. And you might have noticed some outfits changed throughout the video. Well, we get a trophy for it after doing that 10 times. And before we continue with the story, we get a trophy for completing all objectives within a base. We head back to Lee's office to confirm that he indeed is now a villain. Surprisingly, he also comes back, and because we already know who he is, we'll have a macho standoff with him.
Now you f***ed up!
After that, we do a quick little side mission where we get a trophy for our 75th stealth takedown. We get introduced to Taskmaster, who has put challenges for us around the city. We also immediately get a trophy for completing the bomb challenge with a silver ranking or higher. A quick heads up, he has different types of challenges, which all give a trophy for the exact same reason. We then go looking for a scientist who has worked on Devil's Breath.
I'm a bird.
Which is some kind of virus Martin Lee is after. We find him, but Martin Lee beated us to him and unfortunately kills him.
He needs some milk.
We then go back to an MJ mission where we meet Tombstone, who we will deal with a bit later on in the video. We then start a little trophy hunting again, such as crafting 15 upgrades, doing 4 tricks before landing. We finish a challenge type where you chase a drone, and we complete all the radio towers. Remember when I said that you get a trophy if you completed all of Kingpin's his bases? Well, you get the same kind of trophy for 3 different types of bases. I know, how original. And no, we did not do all of Kingpin's his bases yet. Instead, we did all of the bases of the army of Martin Lee, aka the demons. We then run into yet another MJ section.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
Afterwards, we complete the combat challenge for Taskmaster. And we also immediately fight him for the first time. And he's quite of a pushover.
Bye, have a great time.
We also slowly see downward spiral of Doc Ock. We also meet up with Miles as Spider-Man and what you can call some obvious foreshadowing. We then get the easiest trophy of all time for fast traveling 5 times. I don't know whose idea this was, but it's a bit retarded. We have our first fight with Martin Lee, but unfortunately he still gets away. And then some Russian lady starts to scream at us, even though it was her job to prevent this. After talking a lot about it, we finally beat all the Kingpin bases. We also stop our 10th vehicle. And after finding all the Black Cat statues, we find her hideout, in which we get not only a nice costume, but also a trophy of course. We complete our first stealth challenge, and we wave to some people, which apparently gives a trophy.
Hello.
I'm not making this shit up. We head into yet another MJ section, and at the end we fight Mr. Lee and put him in jail. We then do some side missions in which we have to find some missing students. After all the missions and beating them up as usual, we get a trophy for it. We then go ahead and convince Doc Ock to not go crazy.
Fight!
A jail riot breaks out and we try to resolve this, but it ends with us getting beat up by all the villains. And a full transformation of Dr. Octavius. Gives us a warning and let us go with a trophy. We get introduced to prisoner bases, where we get a trophy for taking down 2 enemies at the same time with 1 trip mine 10 times. We find the last base type and complete it for the first time. After this it's just the trophies for the types of bases. Speaking of trophies, we had to take a picture of all the sightseeing buildings of New York and we ended with Avengers Tower.
What is that? What the fuck is that?
Yeah, they just had to be pictures, not beautiful pictures. We get confronted by Vulture and Electro and they throw us into a boss battle. And if there's one fucking thing I hate in this game, no, not the MJ sections, it's air battles. It's so janky and the camera's all over the place. Just don't enjoy this. Luckily the boss battle was alright, but nothing too hard. And within no time we beat both of them for a trophy. After an outfit change, we decide to do some side missions, where we meet the real hero. We let him do the real work, while we go after chasing some birds for a trophy. Yeah, I just don't have any words for this anymore. We decide to do some acid, in order for us to complete all the minigames for the trophy. While the acid was wearing off, Spider-Man was not that sharp and probably killed some people. After the murder spree, we unlock all the craftable outfits for a trophy. We also collect the last backpack and enjoy the view at the top of Avengers Tower in order for us to get 2 trophies right after each other. We complete the last Taskmaster challenge, after which he challenges us for yet another fight. He did steal some of our moves, but that doesn't help him from getting his ass kicked and giving us a trophy. We finish up all the prisoner bases. We then decide to confront Tombstone in what is apparently our last side mission. This basically means for defeating Tombstone we get 2 trophies, 1 for defeating him and 1 for completing all the side missions in the game. We then decide to take some revenge on the acid trip we got from Scorpion in what is perhaps the most boring boss fight in the game. The reason why this is boring, well, Rhino has a lot of health and basically tanks hits like it's nothing. And besides the large health pool, it's the same thing over and over.
Did I ever tell you the definition of insanity?
Just lure him and hit him with something big and then just beat the fuck out of him. Goes on a little too long, which makes it pretty boring. We get our first gold trophy of the game by unlocking all the skills. The other being a bit more grindy than that. We finally head into the last MJ section. Some weird stuff happens. I mean, what even happened here? And at the end of the section, we get some obvious foreshadowing.
Sometimes foreshadowing is relatively obvious.
We decide to celebrate by clearing the last Sable base for another trophy. We march on through the story and fight Martin Lee for the last time, which gives a trophy. Dr. Octopus then beats us the hell up and gets away. After recovering in the hospital, something happens to Miles. Oh no, who would have seen this coming? We then go and face Doc Ock. After all this build up, we have this final boss battle. And it's kinda disappointing. Don't get me wrong, story-wise it's a big climatic scene and definitely it's one of the stronger stories out there. But gameplay-wise, I mean, you just swing around, shoot some web at him, and when there's an opening you just start beating him. Not hard, you can dodge everything by just spamming circle and well, it's not a challenging boss fight. But what is emotional is that Peter Parker had to beat up his father figure, and although Aunt May hasn't been much in this video, her death is definitely an emotional one in the story. And at the end of it all, we get a trophy for completing the story. We then have some cleanup to do, which is more grindy than challenging. We start with completing all the labs. We then head into the most annoying gameplay mechanic of the whole game, also known as crimes. Yeah, this mechanic is just so stupid. First of all, there's a fuck ton. There's 20 crimes per district. And second of all, it's RNG. You just have to swing around till one spawns. And sometimes, if the game doesn't like you, it could take a few minutes. You get a trophy for completing everything in a district, which is very annoying because of all the crimes. But that's not even the most annoying part. No, we have to do this in every district. This gives us the second gold trophy of the game. But my god, this one took definitely the longest if we're looking at trophies individually. We then end with a sad trophy, which does give us the platinum. And that's by visiting Ben Parker's grave. Remember when I said that I didn't mention Aunt May at all in this video? Well, Peter doesn't even care and doesn't even mention her either. But hey, I got the platinum trophy for it, so I'm not complaining. Hey, you once again made it to the end. Thank you for that. I played the game on amazing difficulty. I collected all 51 trophies in around 21 hours, averaging around 2.4 trophies an hour. The best trophy goes to End Game. The reason for this is that the story is definitely the best part of the game. And this trophy basically concludes the whole story. The worst trophy goes out to Fast Travel. This trophy was so ridiculously easy that it doesn't make sense that you can even call this a trophy. All in all, Spider-Man is a fun game to platinum. And if you're looking for a challenge, well, you better look somewhere else. All in all combined, I give this a 7 out of 10. I was just hoping for a little more challenge. And yeah, I could have played on one difficulty higher, but more health does not equal more challenging. More health equals grinding. Thanks for watching.